Hey, it's your boy Sergeant Hooked Intentions. A little bit late on this upload here. I'm really busy this week. But we are doing our review slash recap of episode 39 of Kikai Sentai Zenkaiger. We are in the home stretch, ladies and gentlemen. We are in the final 10 episodes of this show. And just like last year and the year before, and pretty much every year with most Sentai, I'm really sad that we're in like the last 10 episodes of this show and it's not going to be a show anymore. I mean, clearly, if it's true that Jiran and Kaito are going to be making their, graduation into Don Brothers, then it's partially not done. But as much as this show is, I think it's pretty much going to be done. Then a lot of theories I've been seeing about how people think everything's going to end. Some people think it's going to end in a big joke. Some people think it's going to end really zany. Some people think it's going to end fourth wall breaking. Some people think it's going to end really sad, which I can see that happening. I have some thoughts, and I'll talk about that near the end of the review here. But main episode here, the plot has to do with Kaito's birthday. They're celebrating it. And you start to get a sense that something's off. They're a little too Zenryoku Zenkai about his birthday. And we realize that the New Year's World monster from last episode, there was the Bond World and the New Year's World monster. New Year's World monster, his thing is to make people party animals, pretty much, but also he keeps resetting New Year's for every hour of the day. So they've been stuck in I think they said they've been doing it in a loop for a month, I think, because the SD Bot Bros are like, hasn't he been excited about his birthday for like a month? What's going on? So, that's pretty interesting. Kind of a Groundhog Day kind of plot, which I wasn't expecting, but I like it. Zox does a lot of dancing and singing in this episode, which is a plus because I just love his character. I hope that we get something with the stuff with the Bot Bros and who made them into SD Bots. We only have 10 episodes left, so I don't know if we're going to get anything with that or not. Any kind of closure on that. But anyway, so as we go with the episode, they start figuring out more and more about how the powers work of the World Monster. And they realize that even though they're getting reset and the year is resetting them, so they think it's like, he's like, one time Kaito goes, wait, how old am I? How many birthdays have I celebrated? Yatsu's like, no. You're not getting older. It's just resetting, so we're celebrating the same birthday over and over. And they're both really optimistic about it and everything, and they both realize, or at least Kaito does, and Yatsude too, that, it's kind of like a lesson of like, even though it's a new year, you never forget what came before, and that pushes you to make the next year hopefully better, depending on your situation. So I kind of like that kind of a thing, and they talk about it in the episode quite a bit. So that was really good stuff. Gege is fucking huge. Gege is a huge bitch. I don't know why, but he's fucking giant. I've never realized it till now, but he's a huge fucking robot thing. I also want to know if it's ever going to be discussed why he looks so similar to Seichan, especially because it seems like the Doji Tendo existed before Kaito's parents, unless there's going to be some time travel-y weirdness where like they caught them at some certain time period, went off into the future, and then came back, and blah, blah, blah. I don't know. But one nice thing in the beginning is they do this goofy thing when they get hit with the power of the world monster. They just basically wish you as the viewer Happy New Year, which is nice, except it's not even fucking Christmas. Which part of the plot of the episode, they're like, wait, it's not even Christmas yet. It's not New Year's yet. So anyway, there's a really odd final shot in the opening, and I'll get to that at the end. There's a really weird thing I just noticed watching it this time. Very unsettling. We'll have to talk about that. Stacy seems pretty conflicted in this episode. A couple different times that he's just kind of watching what's happening and kind of like disapproving of certain things. And even when he does transform to fight in his Stacyzer, what is it? The robot Stacyzer Kai or Stacyzer Stacyzer Robo 3 or whatever it is, Neo Heisei, whatever it is. He still just doesn't seem as like motivated as he usually is. I think last episode really affected him with everything with his mom, seeing her again, her being controlled, trying to kill him, and Huckaiser and Zox saving his life. I think kind of changed him a little bit. So I'm hoping he moves towards mainly being part of the team or just their ally. I would like it. Honestly, my dream of dreams is that he just ends up becoming, maybe there's some weird thing where he combines with whatever's left of Zenkai Red into one character, and that is Don Momotaro's for the red for Don Brothers, or maybe Stacy himself. I don't know, but we'll get there at the end of the episode. So, Jiran can sing really well. And near the end of the episode, they start to they figure out kind of how to beat that monster. I don't really understand what they did. It seems like they just like they stopped caring about it being reset so much, so it stopped having an effect on them or something like that. I don't know. It was weird, but it shows each one of them trying to break it down to them how they beat them and go on raps. Gets a Juron, he straight sounds like fucking dude from Yakuza, the Yakuza games, singing at the karaoke bar. So stupid. Also, John Toei, whoever the fuck is responsible, I need a fucking full team Zenryoku Zenkai fucking roll call with Zox as part of the team because he's a Zenkaiger just as much as the rest of them. I don't like it. He needs to stop it, Zox. You need to join and stop being a little butt. All right, it's not fair. I don't like it. It makes me sad. You wasted my time. You wasted my gas. Anyway, so they transform. They fight for a bit. They fight some Kudaks, and we get to use some Sentai gears. I love this. They use the Kyoryuger gear, which just lets them do the fucking Samba dance, transformation dance, which is great. Thank you just for using it. And they also use the Gokaiger gear. People were really wondering, what is the Gokaiger gear going to do? Is it going to let them turn into the Gokaigers? Is it going to let them use Ranger keys and transform? What is it going to do? Oh, it lets them swap weapons. The Gokaigers had this like shtick where they would like throw weapons to each other. So like normally like Joe, for example, would have two swords at the same time. If you haven't seen Gokaiger, the blue would have two swords at the same time because he'd get someone else's sword and he'd throw his gun. Usually Luca would have two swords on the like ropes that she'd swing around. Don Dogoy or Doc Hakusan would walk around with the two pistols. So they do that. So they basically all swap weapons together. Kick the monster's butt a little bit. After that, it's Zenryoku Zenkai Cannon, of course, and they fire it, destroy him. Becomes a Kunai test, Neo Kunai test, whatever. And this time we get to see a lot more of the two Kaio variations, the Katsunar and Riki variations. And they actually mentioned that because at one point during the fight with the world monster, Zox turns into his Orin and Shinken forms, and both brothers go, "Huh, yeah, it's been a while since we've done this, isn't it?" Like an in joke because kind of a thinking, definitely in Rider, not definitely in Rider, not as much in Sentai, but kinda is like once a character gets a certain really crazy power up, they hardly ever go back to the other ones. They made a whole storyline about it in Ghost with some of the power ups in that, and it was actually pretty good. But yeah, I thought that was a nice little reference to that. But anyway, so they're Micah are all fighting. We got Zenkai over Majin. I think Juragawa's there as well, and I think the two Kaios, or one of the Kaios, because they're only the one at one time. They're all fighting and stuff, and we get to see, this is so cool, the mecha use the Zenryoku Zenkai cannon, and when they fire it, it brings out, instead of a bunch of the Red Ranger helmets all together, it brings all the main mecha together, and in the center of it was Varidarin from Go Ranger. I thought that was really cool. But yeah, it's all them together, and then it forms together. Instead of being Kaito's helmet, it's Zenryoku Zenkaio's, helmet, I guess, or just, face there, and boom. And Caesar in his new robo jumps out of the way, so it hits the world monster and destroys them. And at the very end, we see a new threat, which is now known as Hakaijuo. Seems to be a mecha piloted by Hakaiser, or maybe it's like a takeoff of Zenkaijuo, so maybe it's him actually transformed in that. We don't know yet. The things for next episode show that, because at the very end of the last episode, I forgot to mention this, it showed Gege and Bokowas talking about, oh, this is a piece from the previous Overlord, like somebody before Bokowas. You could have told us that any time now. It's some piece to control Hakaiser. Next episode, we're getting Hakaiser Kai. So he's got like a cape and he's a little different looking, kinda. I'm guessing just more and trying to keep him controlled. And then Hakaijuo. So it does look like he's having a pretty intense fight with Kaito. Kaito at one point is dual wielding the Zenryoku Zenkai cannon and his Gertlinger. So I don't know what's gonna happen with that. I'm thinking we're gonna resolve that pretty soon, if not next episode, probably the episode after. Yeah. So so like I said, overall it's pretty much everything that happened. Overall pretty good episode. I'd probably give it a strong 9-ish out of 10, just because it started to more closely push on the main storyline stuff with things with Stacy, Hakaiser, and things of that nature. I want to go back to the opening, though. I mentioned this. In the opening, at the very end of it, we always get this weird thing that happens there where it's like some weird jumble of footage. This time, There was nobody there. It was starting to get uncomfortable. I thought I was going to get jump scared or something. And then all of a sudden it showed them and they were just like frozen in black and white. And then they started to slowly fade. I don't know what that means. I don't know if that's trying to like insinuate that like some of the team members are going to die or that they're going to be like erased or something. I don't really know what we're doing with that. I do kind of have a sinking feeling that Zenkaiger might try to have a bit of a somber ending. I don't know how somber it'll be since Kaito and Jiran will be part of Dawn Brothers, but I wonder if somber means that the most of the team will get destroyed and only Jiran and Kaito will be left or something. Like maybe they'll sacrifice themselves to stop Bokowas, and then Gege will be the last one left and he'll fly off and they'll go after him and that starts off Dawn Brothers. I don't know. A lot of people have theories that Dawn Brothers catch my breath, sorry. Dawn Brothers is going to deal with the Sentai gears finally and do something with the Sentai gears, the Toji Tendo Sentai gears, freeing those worlds or whatever, because we haven't really done much with that either. But yeah, there's a few things to still take care of. We still need to reform Hakaiser back into Kaito's dad, and is he going to stay in that form? Can you morph? What's going on? The mom, where the hell is she? Stacy, are you going to join or not? Stop being a baby. And also the brothers, the SD Bot Bros. What are we doing with that? We have like 4 concurrent storylines we're not sure about. Plus, not even being really sure that Bokowas is really the big bad here. I think it's Gege. I think Bokowas is a figurehead and is being controlled by Gege, or in general just not a threat to Gege. Gege's got something else going on. And even Brashitara brings up in the episode like, Gege's tone seems a little different. What's going on here? So there's something going on there. There is some grains of salt speculation that Gege is supposed to show up in Dawn Brothers as part of the villain faction. So I wonder what that means for this season. But like I said, strong 9 out of 10. Still a pretty good episode. One tiny thing I can say with Zenkaiger, as much as I've been entertained with it, is I just want a bit more pull and focus on the main storyline. Yes, the gags are funny. Yes, the Zenryoku Zenkai Canon and all those other like Sentai anniversary things are cool. But it starts to not really fully feel hollow, but be on the path towards maybe feeling a tiny bit hollow when its main storyline isn't being paid attention to. Now, I'm not as mad about this as I thought was what might have happened with this show, where it was going to try to do Gokaiger and fail, or it was going to take what worked with Gokaiger and just fail miserably at it. Because the reason Gokaiger worked, as I've said before many times, is that the anniversary stuff is in there, yes, but it's the main story of those characters, of the pirates, of the Gokaigers themselves, is the crux of the show, and is who we really focus on. Yes, we get some backstory stuff on the villains and things of that nature, but they're the ones we focus on. We get a really good story pushing them forward and pushing the narrative forward pretty much every episode. And in Zenkaiger, I get they're trying to like lean more into like the comedic zany nature, and that's fine. I totally appreciate it for that. It's a day brighter every time I watch an episode. I'm waiting for the next ridiculous thing to happen. We had another random roll call in this episode. That'd be their grand power, is roll calls. But yeah, so just kind of my concerns for the rest of what's going to happen here. But anyway, bit of a dump of stuff there. Coming up pretty soon, I'm going to try to record a little series, my top 10 favorite Sentai seasons, and also my top 10 favorite Rider seasons. Both of them are probably going to be 2-part. I'm just going to put that out there right now. And in both of these, I just want to preface it by saying you are not invalidated, nor are your picks for your top seasons invalidated by what's on my list, and vice versa. These are just my own enjoyment with Sentai as a whole and what I've watched so far, and the ones that resonated with me, and the ones I had the most enjoyment watching. It also doesn't mean that like just because such and such was my 10 and the other one was my number 1, that I think this one's better than this one. It's just, in my terms, in my head, how much more enjoyment I had. That's it. You got to be careful with that nowadays. Opinions got to be like super like long and drawn out and explained for people to not be offended by it. It's like, okay. So as far as stuff soon for like Toku Toy Viz and everything, I don't think I have a ton. I think the next big thing will just be the what's it called, Demon's Driver, once that arrives. That'll be in like early like February or March or something, but it's all paid off and ready, so I just gotta get it shipped out once they get their product and ship it. So woo. But yeah, so definitely look out for that in my top 10 stuff. I'm going to try to, before the end of the year, maybe eke out another video, which will be my top 5 favorite things that happened in Tokusatsu this year, and my top 5 least favorite or hated or kind of meh bad things that happened in Tokusatsu. I don't know for sure if I'm going to do that. It's a little bite off of kind of a video thing that I think Prawn and Hawkillies have done before, but I just want to kind of give my vibe with it. So yeah, but hope you guys enjoyed the video. Again, thank you guys so much for commenting, sharing, watching the video, subscribing, liking, disliking, all that stuff is engagement. I really do appreciate it. I really do appreciate you guys on TikTok following me there at Sergeant Hooked on Henshins on there, for watching my content there, sharing it there, for also following me on social media like Twitter at Rio Soul Rider Red, or hooked on. Right now I'm Sergeant Hooked on Festive Tier Amigo. I thank you guys so much. I get like a few new subscribers or new followers every few days, and it just completely blows my mind that people give a shit about my videos. But anyway, I appreciate you guys. But until next time, stay hooked on Henshins. I'll talk to you later. Bye bye.